Wow.
That's your full name. Toluwa Lagbara. Toluwa.
Hello everyone, welcome to SIUK Nigeria webinar. Thank you for joining us today. Over to you, Bimbo.
Hi everybody, many thanks for taking time to join us on this interactive session with Nord Anglia Education. Joining us today from Nord Anglia Education are seasoned experts from the college. We'll be learning more about the program, about their A-level program. At the end of the presentation, we'll be taking your questions. So if you have any question, please feel free to drop them using the chat box. Thank you again for joining us. We hope you have a great time with us today. I will now hand over to Neil, who will introduce himself and the team from Nord Anglia. Over to you, Neil. Hello.
Neil, you're on mute.
Hi, Neil.
He's on mute.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, it said I had a little problem. It said the host wasn't allowing me to unmute, so apologies.
Okay.
Sorry about the delayed introduction. My name's Neil, and I'm talking to you today from the Nord Anglia HQ in London. We have 76 schools around the world, but today we're going to be focusing on our 3 schools in the UK, all of them actually in Oxford, and A-levels, which is the pre-university qualification here in the UK. I'm joined by my colleague who's based in Lagos, Chiamaka Chike Oboweke, excuse my pronunciation, who's based in our Lagos office. And I'm also joined with Rian Jenkins, who's based in our London office and works with the SIUK team in the UK. So without further ado, I will move on. So why choose the UK? I'm sure you're here because you're looking at studying in the UK, and the top 2 world universities are British. And actually what we do at our schools is get students into the top 2 and the top 10 universities in the UK. I'm sure you're familiar with the British education, but I just want to share with you the A-level approach. We have something called GCSE, which we take from 14 to 16, and then A-levels. A-levels take 2 years, normally 3 or 4 subjects. And they are the qualifications that get you into university and what the majority of British students take. Now, why A-levels as opposed to, say, foundation? Because they are considered the gold standard by universities. It's 2 years of study, which is it's more time intensive, but it's the highest level of school study in the UK, and it's accepted by every university in the UK. Now, often if you do foundation, it's tied to a university or it's tied to a number of universities. A-levels are accepted by every single university in the UK and beyond, because some of our students go to study in the States, in Asia, all over the world. So they are internationally recognized. There's a flexibility in what you study because you combine 3 or more subjects, but they specialize. So the UK education is not broad, it's deep as opposed to the IB program. And it's also the preferred route for the most competitive university degrees. So medicine, dentistry, veterinary science, but also engineering and law at the top universities. And a foundation will not get you into Imperial, will not get you into Cambridge or LSE, but A-levels will. They're designed for students aged 16 plus, and most of our students are 16, 17 when they join us. As I've said, normally 3 to 4 subjects. Some of our students do more, and you're graded from A to E. Anything above a C really is what's important. it's also 100% exam based. So it's linear. We help students with that, but that's why the universities prefer it than modular courses like Foundation. So if you want to apply, I'll get this is jumping the gun a bit, but we'll talk to you about our schools, but we do need application forms. We need copy of passports and your latest reports. Now, without putting you off, we interview every student and we assess students for our more selective schools. We interview students not as a test, but to make sure that we can fulfill your expectations. So if you're thinking of applying for A-levels, most schools will want this, will take this approach. So the first school in our group I'm going to talk to you about today is called Oxford Sixth Form College. Based in Oxford, as are all our schools. About 40 different nationalities. You can see we've had South African students, Nigerian students, Ghanaian students. About a quarter of our students are British. That's the school. It's actually, the building is part of Oriel College, which is part of Oxford University. We're not linked in that sense, but we are in the heart of the university district. I mentioned A-levels. These are the A-levels that we offer. And we offer a number of different routes. It's our most flexible college and our least selective. We still interview everyone, but we've got September intake, which is 2 years. We've got January, which is a year and a half, it's 5 terms. And we have a 1-year A-level, which is sometimes suitable for students from Nigeria who have studied up until a certain level and they can do the intensive year. We are in the top 1% in England, and this is our least selective school, well above average. In fact, we were just on a call with our colleagues at this school before I joined this webinar, and so far we've got 6 students that have been accepted for interview, not accepted, but invited for interview at Oxford. So we are one of the top schools in the UK, as are all our schools. This school is special because we do alternatives to A-level. This one is called a BTEC. BTEC is same value as an A-level, but it's modular, which means that you look at one core module, you do a presentation or a piece of written work, and you move on to the next module. It is not linear like A-levels. I mention this because you can also combine, business, BTEC and A-levels, and it's the same as having 3 A-levels, and you can do that in a year. I know someone's just raised their hand. There will be time for questions at the end, so please bear with us. But yeah, and although it's a BTEC business, as you can see here, it can get you into a range of subjects. A misconception is that you must study at A-level or foundation. Foundation is slightly different, but at A-level, what you're going to study at university. That's not always the case. I know foundation, where it's linked, it is, but not always the case with A-levels and BTEC. Obviously, when you're in the UK studying, wherever you go, pastoral care is going to be very, very important. Now, pastoral care, I don't mean where you live, I mean the whole experience. So our pastoral support helps you get into university. It's about welfare, yes, but it's much more than that, because the whole experience is what is going to help you achieve results. So what we have senior tutors. If you have a senior tutor with us, that tutor will stay with you for the whole journey. These are 4 of our senior tutors, and they will look after you and your progress throughout your academic journey. They will look after you when you're living in Oxford and encompass everything that you do while you're with us. obviously, the reason for studying in the UK is because you want to go to a UK university. So students do want to know where previous students have been. As I said, we are the least selective. We're a non-selective, in a sense, school amongst the three. That doesn't mean that we don't perform as in the others. It means we get students to where they want to go, which is why we interview everyone. Yes, we have students that go to Oxford and Cambridge and King's and Lancaster, but we also have students who aren't aiming for that, who go elsewhere. So we have a broad range of students and destinations. What's it like at Oxford Sixth Form College? What's it like to study and live there? We have a very strong extra and co-curricular timetable, and we encourage students to be involved with the student council. We offer work experience, which will help you get to university. We run Olympiads, and we take part in competitions and debates within Oxford and globally. We are also members of the Oxford Union. The Oxford Union is the debating society of Oxford University. All Oxford University students get access, and so do our students. We hold debates there, or we did pre-COVID. You can go and see speakers. As you can see here, some of the previous guests have everything from Stephen Hawking, Michael Jackson, US presidents, Albert Einstein, and even Diego Maradona. It's a brilliant resource. And actually putting this on your CV, on your application when you're applying for universities, is very much appreciated and liked by universities. Again, we've got lots of clubs, lots of activities. So it's not just about your academic career. We're trying to help you experience Oxford and the wider life while you're here. And you may ask, why Oxford Sixth Form College? And my colleagues will talk to you about our other schools and colleges as well. They're all different. So this is the smallest of our colleges, with 8 students in a class. Maximum number in the college is 200, so it's quite small. Excuse me. So there's lots of support during your journey. Sorry, I'm just going to go back. Expertise. We have a lot of our teachers have studied at Oxford. They've got doctorates from Oxford, so they understand you on your journey, and they're not all British. And flexibility. You can combine A-levels with BTEC, BTEC with GCSEs, depending on where you are in your study journey. That's a little bit about Oxford Sixth Form College. We're trying to pack a lot into this hour, so apologies if I'm going at a certain speed, but we've a lot to cover. I'm going to hand over now to my colleague Rian, who's going to talk to you about another one of our schools called Doverbrooks.
Thanks, Neil.
Rian,
We'll
over to you.
Thank you. Give Neil a little break, and I'll talk to you about Doverbrooks. So Doverbrooks is a leading independent school in Oxford. So of the 3 colleges, schools that we have, it's probably the more traditional of kind of a boarding school experience, but it is quite modern in its approach to teaching. So there's no uniforms, and student and staff are kind of on a first term name basis. So the school structure you can see there. So we do have 2 parts of the school for international students. So there is an international school which houses students ages 11 to 16. So these would be students that are progressing to do an IGCSE course, and that is, as the name would suggest, it's mainly for international students, and that are all going to be boarding. We do also have a day school for students ages 7 to 11 to 16 as well, and they do kind of integrate with activities and things, but they are separate schools. And then we also have the sixth form, which is obviously where they'll be doing their A-levels. So this is for 16 to 18-year-olds. And at the sixth form, it's a 50-50 split of UK and international students, and a 50-50 split between day and boarding students as well. So if you go to the next slide, please, Neil. Thank you. So as you can see, the typical progression route for students, I know we're mainly talking about A-levels today, but just to kind of go through the international school as well, would be that they'd start in the international school. Students could then progress to a UK sixth form, either at Dover Brooks or elsewhere, and eventually progressing to a top UK university. Next slide, please. So, yeah, this just gives you an overview of some of the stats for the school. So 88% of students achieved A star and B at A level. So it is quite a selective school. We are the top school in Oxfordshire for progress at A levels, and in the top 1% of all schools in England. We have around 690 students with a staff and student ratio of 8:1, and there would be about 11 students maximum in each class. Also, very recently, Dover Brooks went through an independent school inspection, and they were delighted to be actually recognised as excellent in all areas of the school. So one of the great things about Dover Brooks, compared to maybe the other two schools we're talking about today, is they do have a much wider range of A-level subjects available. So I think there's over 35 options to choose from. As you can see, there are various languages, art-related courses. So we've just recently opened a new art centre, so students can do fine art, photography, all kinds of things like that. And also some unique options that may not be widely available in other schools. So, for example, music technology. And then in the next slide, there should be some information about, in addition to academic subjects, there are also lots of kind of clubs and societies to choose from. So students can be part of lots of drama and dance productions, as I mentioned, art as well as very well. So we actually have our own tennis academy, so for any keen tennis players. So Dover Brooks is very interested in developing students as to be kind of independent and proactive people when they finish and when they're going on to university study. So the director of studies is somebody that's there to help with all aspects of the school and their life at school. So anything from academic and pastoral care, and also involved with helping with university applications and the activities programme as well. So in the next slide, I think we'll see some of the university placement information. So this is the university destinations from this year. So the top place we've sent students would be UCL and King's College London. And in this year, we also sent 4 students into Oxbridge as well. And I think that might be me done. Yeah, that's all for Dover Brooks. So if you have any questions about Dover Brooks, please put them in the chat and we'll get to the questions at the end. But for now, I'm going to hand over to Chiamaka, who's going to tell us about Oxford International College.
Hi, everyone. Hi, can you hear me?
We can hear you. You're a little quiet, Chiamaka.
Can you hear me, Neil?
We can hear you, but you're a little quiet. But yeah, continue.
My name is Chiamaka, and I'm the Regional Sales Manager for Africa. And today I'll be discussing Oxford International College with you, and also the awards that are available in the 3 schools. Next slide, please. So just a brief background about Oxford International College. Oxford International College is mainly known as a STEM college. However, students who intend to study art courses as well are free to apply. And it's actually the #1 A-levels college in the UK at the moment, of which in the next slide, we're going to show you more about that. But Yasmin Sawyer is the Chief Education Officer at Oxford International College, and she has amazing awards. Yasmin is really good and she's a very hands-on chief education officer. She knows every student by name, if I might add, and she has a lot of information about the students. So Yasmin sits on the she sits and interviews as one of the top panelists for UK medical schools, and I'm sure most of you know Cardiff Sixth Form College, and she was the founder of Cardiff Sixth Form College, and this helped Cardiff Sixth Form College because they became the leading A-levels school in the UK for 9 years. That's before we snatched the title from them. And then she's the science tutor of the year. She won the award in 2011, and she has also spoken at TEDx, which is also amazing. I mean, she's just really, really awesome. I can go on and on about Yasmin, but this is not about her. So next slide, please, Neil. So like I said before, we're leading at the moment as the #1 A-levels school, and this has been in existence since 2019. Oxford International College is really hands-on when it comes to students' priorities and what they want the students to achieve. So in the case where a student applies to 3 universities, best guaranteed that out of that 3 universities, which is the top 3 for students, the students will likely get into one of them, and most likely is their first 2 choices, which is all amazing for Oxford International College as well. Next slide, please, Neil. So the academic programs we have at the moment, we have the 1-year GCSE, which we have 8 subjects in. The students must study maths, English, and science. I know most times with the students that come in from Nigeria, there's always a question of, oh, we're an English-speaking country. But this is one of the compulsory subjects that students are supposed to take when they're coming in to study the 1-year GCSE program. Then, of course, we have the A-levels program, which we have January or September start. And then the chosen subjects will fit with what you want to study in future. So most students that want to study medicine, if you want to study engineering, during your interview process, then you will be advised on what courses that will be more suitable for you for the course that you want to study in future at the university. So just know that every step of the way, we're always there to help. And at one point, obviously, I'm going to speak with you as well. And myself, I will also advise on what subjects you're likely going to choose for the A-levels program that you're going to be taking as well. Next slide. So these are some of the progressions we have over the years. So most likely for Oxford International College, students are asked, or like we can go to different schools like we mentioned earlier, but most times it's just always the Russell Group of schools, which are the top universities in the UK. So we have students can also transfer overseas as well, and this is also amazing. If you ask students, most times I want to transfer to the US, some people want to transfer to Australia, you know, but we also have the UK pathway options as well for students to get into. And then 55% of our students has achieved straight A's in their A-levels examinations, which is amazing in terms of results. So these are some of the things that our students have achieved over the course of the years since the inception of Oxford International College. Next slide, please. So most of the time for Oxford International College, students are highly prepared for their education in the university. So it's more grueling in terms of like the subjects or the study times that students are going to be taking as well. Students are very much equipped for the top universities as well, but notwithstanding, students also do some extracurricular activities as well. on campus. And these are some of the things that students can do when they're on campus as well. They take part in university fairs. A lot of Oxford International College students do a lot of competition. We do the science competition as well, which is very popular amongst the students. And we're hoping very soon to know if we can do that among Nigerian students as well, which will be very, very helpful. So these are some of the things that students can get up to, which is very, very interesting. Next slide, please. So at Oxford International College, we have 4 accommodations. And all these accommodations have different or are different in some ways. We have the studio where students can just be alone by themselves. Then we have where students can just be in the single room and then share the common area. We have the accommodation as well, where students can have their own private bathroom as well. So it depends. We have this platter of options depending on what the student wants. That option is there for you as well. And then obviously for one of the accommodations, we have the separate for girls, and then we have for boys as well. So it depends on which way you want to go for the accommodation. So next slide, we're going to talk about the awards right now. So at the 3 schools, we have various awards running. We'll call them awards, not scholarships, and then I will explain why. So at Dover-Brooks, we have the scholarship for 3 people. We do it a first come, first serve basis of 20%. And then we also have, and this is for 6th form, and then we also have what we call the Friendship Ambassador Award. So the Friendship Ambassador Award is for the students. We have guidelines that we're going to send to any student that will be awarded this. And this is going to be £6,000 off your fees. So you have to get 6,000 in the first year and then 6,000 in the second year. So in total, you're having £12,000 off your fees as well, which is very, very helpful for a lot of students, and it's amazing. So you just basically get involved in, we're just going to look at your application and basically decide, and then from your interview as well, that will be very beneficial. And the scholarship, the award for the 6th form as well is mainly test-based. So most times you might be asked to write an exam as well, because it's purely academic as well. And the same applies for the 40% at Oxford International College, purely academic based as well. You will have to write a test for you to get the scholarships. And then this also applies to, we can give up to 20% at Oxford 6th form college. We have 2 different awards. You can get the 20% Principals Award, which is designed for families. This is just a benefit, basically, just to help students that are applying. And then we also have the 40% scholarship. If you write a test and you get you score very well in the test, then you can get up to 40% scholarship. I also want to add that at Oxford International College, when students are coming in, you are expected to write a test. So students studying science and medicine, for example, are expected to write chemistry, biology, and maths. For example, if you're studying engineering, you would see that you will write physics, chemistry, and maths. So you have to write a test before you get in, and then after the test, you will now do your interview. So that is basically it for all the schools, and then the awards that we have. If you have any questions, we are open to answering questions as well. I can see we have some questions in the chat. I'll do well to also respond in the chat, and also if you want to talk about it as well, then that would be awesome. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, Chiamaka, Neil, and Ryan. That was very, very informative. We also have a couple of questions here, both on Zoom and on YouTube. So I'll go through those questions so we can have answers to those questions here already. The first one I have here is, how can I apply, ma'am? So how can students apply at this point, from this point?
let me tell that we've got our contact details on the screen, but you can talk to our colleagues in SIUK. Bimbo, I'm sure you can put your contact details up before we leave. But the first thing, as I mentioned before in one of the slides, is to gather your documents. So we would need your latest transcripts, your latest reports, a copy of your passport, and a completed application form. When we have those, what we do then, depending on what school and what program, we will invite you for a test or assessment and an interview. Again, the interview is not a test, but to find out more about you. If you want to apply for some of the awards, it's best to say that at the beginning of the application, because we've only got limited number, and therefore, because they're not academic in the sense that they're not to the highest and most academic student, they're for people who we think we deserve it or who apply for it. So they're not academic scholarships in that sense. But the main thing is to contact one of us, contact SIUK, gather your documents. The application form is online, and we can give you the link in the chat if Rian or Chimaka want to put some links in the chat box so you can find the online application form. Hope that answers your question.
Sure, I will.
Okay, we've got some more questions, I think.
I'm just trying to jump in. I know Luda P asked the question of what is the deadline for 2022. I presume you're talking about January, are you? So in the case, if it's for January intake, we can say we can accept an application now. However, SIUK team would have to advise on the visa processing, because we're already in December. And if we're looking at the January intake, we don't know how fast the visa is going to be unless you do the super priority. But this is something you can discuss with SIUK, who organized this event. I think they are the best people to advise. However, on our own part, we can accept an application for January. But like I said, visa would be the question here. I hope I was able to answer your question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we can't say January is difficult, but if you want to apply for January, you do need to have all your documents in order now.
All right, thank you very much, Neil and Chiamaka. Just to add, do we have a CAS deadline? What's the CAS issuance deadline? So have that could also guide in advising the students.
Personally, the CAS deadline for especially down here, we're looking at before Christmas, because school, most of the team, they would close at some point. Obviously, you know, it's holiday season, so that's just the thing. So if any student wants to apply, we're looking at how fast your documents are, and we're talking about fees as well, and then all those other things. So, I mean, it's just a matter of how fast the students' documents can come out.
All right, thank you very much, Chiamaka. There's a question on internship. So do you assist students with getting internship during the course?
We do.
I think Neil can answer this, but yeah.
We do at all three schools. In fact, we see it, depending on what the student wants to do at university, we see it as almost a mandatory part of the application procedure. So, for instance, at Oxford International College, we operate what's called career pathways. So if you want to be a medic, we help you build your application. Now, remember, we're talking about students applying for some of the top 10 universities in the UK. As you saw on the slides, 55% of our students get A stars. And most students applying to medicine, for instance, have A's and A stars. So how do you compete? You compete by doing work experience, by engaging in internships. Even during the COVID period, we've had online internships for our students. So we don't just help students, we encourage students, we help them get internships, work experience during their non-teaching hours and their breaks. It really is very, very important to build. I mean, what we do really, as well as getting you the results, we're building your profile when it comes to applying to university. And that's where our success lies.
Thank you very much, Neil. I think the next question has been answered already on accommodation facilities. I would probably move on to the next one. Okay, next question is about, is there any WhatsApp group student can join, probably maybe also social media accounts they can get more information from?
Yeah, if you go to, I mean, Jamaica will tell you more, but we have Instagram, we have various social media, you can get more information. We don't have a WhatsApp group amongst our students, really. Well, we in the college, yeah, but not for outsiders for various reasons. But if you want to follow us on social media, you'll find more information on WeChat, on Instagram, on Facebook. So please, yeah.
So I put my number up. And I can also put, like, I'm also on Instagram. I opened an Instagram account just for the schools. And then WhatsApp as well is the easiest way to reach me. Honestly, give me a call. I will pick up your calls. So just ask any questions you might have. If you can call me, then that's fine. I'm just always here to help. But I just feel like asking if there is a group. I think moving forward, what we want to do is we want to do what we call an event, a PSE event, where we can have all applicants together or with their agents as well. And you can ask any questions you might have. I think that would help, because maybe there are some questions that somebody else is asking that, you know, you've never thought about as well. And then we can bring some alumni together as well, so that they can advise and speak to you about, you know, their experience as well with the schools. But we're very active. All 3 schools are very active on Instagram. If you can check Instagram out as well, that would really be helpful. And if you send any questions there on Instagram via DM, we always answer. So if that is something you will want to, and then with Instagram, you will also see the day-to-day activities of the students, because most times we do like student takeover on Instagram stories or live, where students just show how their day goes and things like that. So you, as a prospective student, it will give you an idea of, you know, what to expect when you're on campus. So yeah, so much fun, I might add. So thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Chiamaka. There's a lot of options that students have there. Okay, moving on to the next question. Is there any scholarship available for Nigerians who have good scores in IELTS?
Chiamaka, I don't know if you want to answer that, but the scholarship's available of what we've shown, really.
Yeah.
We should say although IELTS isn't necessary for if you're coming to study A levels and you're under 18, we do ask for it at OIC, Oxford International College, but we expect 6.5 anyway. But as Nigerians, as native English speakers, it shouldn't really be a concern. And
then just
okay.
to add, yeah, it's just most of our awards are mainly academic based. Like I said earlier, you would have to, Neil, do you mind going back to the slide? Let me just show them quickly. So like I said earlier, you would just have to basically, most times you're asked to write a test. And then that's just where, like I explained in Dover Brooks, we have the Friendship Ambassador Award where students can get £6,000 each year, and then in total 12,000. Then we have the 20% scholarship award where you know, a student can write a test and then get the 20%. Same applies to OIC for 40%, and then same for Oxford Sixth Form College for 20% and 40%. All these are mainly academic based. And then we would like to add, because of the number of applications we get, so most of these awards are on, you know, first come, first serve basis, because we don't give it out to all the students. So that's just basically what it is. Exactly.
Yeah, just to add, it was what we were trying to do was encourage Nigerian applications, because actually we really focused in Africa 18 months ago when Chimaka joined us. So we have students from Nigeria, from Botswana, from Kenya in the school. But when I say they're academic, obviously you have to meet an academic standard to get into the school. But we're not testing you as in top of the class to get in. What we want, if you meet the conditions, our academic standards, then they are awards for students from Nigeria to help with the application process. So they're not strictly academic scholarships. You don't have to be top of the class, but you do have to be, you do have to surpass our academic conditions to be eligible for one of the awards. Someone had their hand up. I think it was.
Yeah, but I also had a question where somebody said that they registered for January, but documents won't be ready this December. Can I change my date of registration? Of course, we have the September intake ongoing at the moment. So if that is what, if you would like to change your application for September, that is perfectly okay. You can just send a message to the SIUK team, and then they will just help you put in either a fresh application, or just they can email me directly, and then we can change that. So yeah, you can do that totally. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Chiamaka and Neil. And we have a question about the fees. How much is the fees?
Currently, I'm posting the links to the fees at the moment on the chat. I'm sorry, I'm breaking it down because I keep answering questions and getting back to it. But I've posted for OIC. If you can look at the chat box, please. And then I've posted for Oxford Sixth Form College, and I'm going to post for Dover Brooks at the moment. I think that would give a clearer view, and then look for you to look at the different fees as well. So yeah, I'm doing that.
One of the reasons for the awards is we are a more expensive route than foundation. We're more expensive because we've got small classes, and we have, as I said, lots of applications, and we're getting students to the top universities. So it's not for everyone, but it is for those of you out there who think, I aspire to go to a university in the top 10. You know, I want to be a medic. I want to be a top lawyer. Remember, in the UK, if you want to do medicine, there's one foundation, which isn't a guarantee. Remember, there's a cap on international students doing medicine in the UK. We've got 100% success rate for medical school. So yes, we're more expensive. If you're looking up your options, we're more expensive, but what you get for that is access to universities which you wouldn't get going on another route.
Thank you very much for that clarification. One final question from Zoom before we move into YouTube. What do you mean by the principal's award to families benefiting from an award? This from Wisdom.
It's not
So-
means tested. We don't look at a family, and Sharat will tell you more. But you know, we are in the if on the spectrum of cheap to expensive, we're on the expensive side, and we understand that it's not easily affordable around the world, and what costs something in one country is different in another country. So what we're trying to do is diversify our student body by offering awards to families which may not have considered it without the award. It's not, does your family qualify? We're just looking at trying to even things out. Remember as well, most of our students, especially at Dover Brooks and Oxford Sixth Form, are British, and our British families value diversity. And so we have awards for around the world, including our British students as well. But it's not, we don't look at your family. What I mean is we're trying to balance the worldwide student body.
All right, thank you very much, Neil. Moving on to YouTube, we have a question around the percentage of Nigerian students you currently have on your campuses. So what's the percentage? What's the number like? Probably a rough idea, a rough figure.
Jamaica, do you want to take that? It's very few, actually.
It's quite, unfortunately, we haven't done the recent counts, but there are quite a handful, especially at OIC at the moment. So yeah, quite a handful of Africans, not only Nigerians. Yes, we have more Nigerians, but in terms of generalization, we have Africans as well, and then we also have quite a number at Dover Brooks. I can't give an exact number, just not so that I will not be making a mistake, but I can always get back to you on that, Bimbo, so that I can ask the principals to do an accurate count so that we can give an accurate response. But I might add, there are quite a number.
We've had African students at each of the schools. The dominant nationality is British, except for OIC, where is all international. Dover Brooks and Oxford Sixth Form, we really value the diversity amongst the student body, because that's what the British parents value as well. And so we've had students not just from Africa, but my job, I'm responsible for Europe, Middle East, Central Asia, Africa, Latin America. We've got students from Brazil. We had one from Chile in September. We've had students from Mongolia. We've had students from everywhere. But what unites us is, again, the academic ability.
All right, thank you very much, Neil. Two more questions to go, and one is about installments. So what's the fee structure, and can I pay in installments?
We can accept installments, but it would be, we've got an installment policy. So generally we'd need deposit to secure the CAS, and then installments, termly installments. At OIC, it's biannual, and at Oxford Sixth Form, termly. Again, we would need to see, like a university or any other school, we need to see evidence of the money to award the CAS, because obviously we have a license when we're sponsoring students. But if you provide that, then it's fine. Some students pay their year in advance. Some do go for the termly payment. We just need to see that you've got the cash to do it before we issue a CAS and get ourselves in trouble.
In terms of the deposits that you're supposed to pay, for OIC, you're looking at £10,500. That's the initial deposit you're supposed to pay. And then for Dover Brooks and Oxford Sixth Form, it's around the same amount. I think not like £10,500, but we're looking at about £4,000. So that's the initial deposit for Nigerian students or for international students to pay. And then at least you're expected to pay a term fees to get your class as well. I think that in terms of what Neil said about like making payment, for us to be able to even issue CAS, we need to see like at least a term fees have been paid, and then the CAS can be released, and then money in your account will now determine if you can pay termly or not. So that's just, it's a case by case basis, if I might add. So yeah.
Thank you very much, Chiamaka and Neil. And a final question is about personal statements. Is this compulsory? Do we have to submit personal statements along with the application?
With personal statements, I just feel like most students try to shy away from it. But let me break down how you can actually write personal statement to make it easier for you. So when you're thinking about writing a personal statement, if you can just break it down in 3 ways, because idealistically, the personal statement you need is not, we're not expecting you to write like two pages or something. It's just a brief introduction about yourself and then what you want to study and why you want to study what you want to study. So most times when I tell students, if you're writing a personal statement, just do my name, just introduction, brief introduction of your name, probably where you are at the moment, year 10, year 11, wherever it is, year 12, and then what you would like to study in the middle so that we can understand what you want to study. And then last line, you can say why you want to study what you want to study. So it's just going to be easier. And then secondly, in terms of the questions, yes, you can submit personal statements. Dover Brooks will need that as well. OIC will need that. Oxford Sixth Form College would need that. I'm not saying that if you don't have all the documents that you cannot put in an application. You can. However, we will just follow up with you to know the things that you still need to submit so that you can submit it. Personal statements generally is just for us to get to know you better so that when we're doing an interview, we can know what we're going to discuss with you as well moving forward. So it's nothing to be scared about. So yes, try and submit the personal statement if you can. If you can't, you can always submit it later on. So yeah, thank you.
Personal statements are valuable for what Chiamaka said. It forms the basis of the discussion. We want to learn about you. But remember, personal statements later on, when you're applying to university, all our students apply through UCAS. And we will spend over a year, we'll be preparing your applications almost from the day you start, because as I said before, it's not just results based. It's more than that. If you're looking at a top university, it's about how you position yourself and how you profile your interests, your further study, and the personal statement, which you will need, is part of that. And often we will rework it, you and the teacher, until we've got a really strong statement. So they are valuable, and universities, especially at the top level, do look at them, because if you're, like I say, if you're applying for one of the most competitive courses, you're expected to have top results. So how does a university look and differentiate between students with all A's? They look wider than results. So it is a quite important thing and worth thinking about. When you're applying to us, it's not a test. That's the thing. You haven't got to write the best personal statement. But what we really want to find out is where your interests lie, how you want to develop them, and how we can help you develop them.
I also want to say, just coming from a point of an international student who went through the UCAS phase as well, during my application. At first, I remember when I was much younger, leaving Nigeria for my foundation program, I didn't understand what a personal statement was or how I was supposed to write it. But if you give it a go anyway in the initial stage, and then when you get to university and you're speaking with your tutors as well, because you've written it before, you can always look at the personal statement again so that you can refresh your mind on what really it is that, okay, this is my mindset. Because as you go through college, or as you go through your A-levels program, a lot of things you're also going to learn about the course you want to study and then where you want to be in the university. So these are all the experiences you're going to include in your personal statement. Like Neil said, you develop it as you go. So I just find out that what helped me personally, I also put in the journey of what I went through in foundation, how I wanted, what the course I wanted to study as well. Most times, you know, you say, oh, you want to save lives if you want to study medicine, but also think more as well. Like we said, the teachers are there to help you. The teachers are very beneficial, I might add. So if you find yourself in the UK and you come to our schools, please make sure you meet them and use them as much as you can as well. So yeah, so it's very, very beneficial in terms of personal statement. If you're struggling, you can always speak to your agent. They're there to help you out as well, which is SI UK. And I mean, if you also have my email, like I'm not going to tell you what to write, but we can always help. So we're all here to help you. So yeah, just ask questions.
We could run a personal statement workshop, which is how to structure and how to get the best out of your experiences so far.
If
Anyway,
you want.
I know we're running out of time. We've only got 3 minutes left.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much, Neil and Chiamaka. That was really, really very elaborate. And I think, yeah, it's a good thing to have a personal statement session, because it's always a major source of concern for most students. Yeah, I think we can always arrange that, you know, after now. Okay, so yeah, that is it for all the questions we have today. And I'd like to say a big thank you to Chiamaka, Neil, and Ren for being with us today. It's been a very insightful session about Dover Brooks, Oxford International College, and Oxford Sixth Form College. I believe students are now well equipped with the right information about your studies and how to start. To all those who have joined us for the session, really appreciate your time and efforts. SI UK will be in touch with you shortly to also discuss your study plans for that. And yeah, we also dropped our contacts on the chat box. Please feel free to get our contacts. You can reach us on all this via email, phone call, or you could visit us in the office. Thank you so much all for your time. And from this end, I say enjoy the rest of your day. I'll hand over now to Neil and Chiamaka probably for a final last word or advice you'd like to give to students. Over to you both. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Just to say thanks for your time. We appreciate you making the effort to join us. I hope you found it that you found the information you needed. And as Bimbo said, if you have questions, if you think this could be for me, I can see myself in Oxford studying for A-levels to prepare for a medicine degree or an engineering degree, contact us. Doesn't matter, just contact us with any question. It's our jobs to help. Thanks very much.
Then from me, thank you so much. I live in Lagos, so in case you want to see me, you can always discuss with Bimbo, and when I'm available, or if I'm available, just discuss an appropriate time. I don't mind having a sit down one-on-one and then having further communications with you as well. And if you're in the UK, or if you happen to be in the UK around this time before September, we can always arrange for you to visit any of the schools that you're interested in. So I'm sure if you just walk around and just see it, just take it all in. I'm sure it's going to be very, very helpful as well. Thank you.
And if any of you are anyone from the in the UK or from further afield, we've also got Rian, who's our UK international representative. So we've got plenty of support. And thanks to SI UK for arranging this.
Yes,
thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, everybody. Bye, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye.